we are back for NFL Week 17. Only 2 weeks left until the NFL playoffs. It is crunch time. Let's talk some football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are here for the big Wednesday night NFL Week 17 show. That's right. It's been a little while because we did not have that Sunday night recap with Christmas and all that. So we will go over our Week 16. Unfortunately, it was our worst weekend, I think, of the season. But you know what? It's been a good run so far this year, so we're going to bounce back. That just means we're that much more due. That's right. So up over 11 units on the season. We'll continue to climb. NFL player props. If you were looking for those, that video will be out late Friday night, like usual. We have two separate videos for them, as props aren't really out by Wednesday night that much. So if you're looking for the NBA video, which I'm sure a lot of you are, that video will be out after this one. So stay tuned and check out for that. Heads up, we have 2 weeks left. The playoff picture is rounding into form, but betting wise, you got to tread carefully. We have 6 teams that have clinched a playoff spot already. It is the Ravens and Dolphins in the AFC. And in the NFC, we have the 49ers, Eagles, Lions, and Cowboys. So they all have a spot. Doesn't mean they're done playing for something because they're still playing for seeding and things like that. 8 teams have been eliminated, just so you know. Patriots, Panthers, Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Commanders, and the two New York teams, the Jets and the Giants. So just wanted to give you a little heads up on that so you guys know. Just because a team needs to win doesn't mean that they should cover the spread or win. I have realized that in the last couple of years, but I do like to bet teams that are a little more motivated. Sometimes these teams have already checked out, as you've seen lately. So, anyways, in this video, got a big show for you. Like always, we are going to recap Week 16. It's a big one because we haven't touched any of it yet. And then NFL Week 17 trends. We have done this every single weekend in the NFL. We are 105 and 77 year to date if you just blindly tail every single one of them. Thursday Night Football preview. What a freaking doozy we got this week. The Jets at the Browns. That's right. We're going to talk about that game, break it down. I have an anytime touchdown bet and another bet in that game. So, and then we're going to talk Week 17 best bets. I'm going to have some for you. Ryan's coming on to have another one for you. He's going to keep his see if he can get his streak up to 3 winning bets in a row. And then I got that trends parlay, which we've done good at this year. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a juicy one. And then the head-to-head bet between me and Ryan, which I'm absolutely crushing him on. Just saying, just saying. And then we'll finish it all with the bets recap. So we got a big show for you today. Hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are very close to 19,000 subscribers. It's just unbelievable. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. This community is positive, and you guys are awesome. You already know that. So let's get to the terrible bets recap for NFL Week 16. Okay, there it is, the big card for Week 16. And right before we started recording this, I realized I actually had a winner on bet number 2 there instead of a loser. For some reason, I thought I picked Indy because it's just been a long holiday week. But anyway, so it was not that bad. As you can see down there on the left, 4 and 6, down 1.99 units. Not an ideal weekend, but still not as terrible as I thought. So nice little bonus to be for not having a good memory. Rams -4, good way to start. And then that number 2 bet, Buffalo team total over. They hit it barely at 24. Miami scored 22 to go over the 19.5 for a nice alt team total winner. Under was a terrible read. They couldn't stop scoring. That was ugly. Texans and Vikings. Texans did not show up to play. You know what? That's what you get for trusting 2 bad quarterbacks. And so that's my fault also. 49ers. I had no idea Brock Purdy was going to throw 85 interceptions. I had no idea. I thought he'd at least keep it down to like 78. It was just unbelievable. They got blitzed by the Ravens. Bad read on my part. Trends parlay. Not official, as you guys know, but we missed by 1 leg. I really wanted that. That was close. Player props 1 and 2, unfortunately. Tyler Bass hit his over PATs, and Matt Gay. That's where my frustration was with the Indianapolis Colts. They only scored 1 freaking touchdown, and he only had 1 PAT. Jefferson went over. Thank goodness, thanks to 2 long plays. I think it was in the second half. And then Chuba Hubbard over 70.5 just didn't get it done. They scored a lot of points, but for some reason they could not get the running game going against one of the worst defenses in the league against the run and the Green Bay Packers. And then that holiday banger just did not work out. Drake London was nowhere to be found. Taylor Heineke just didn't even look his way, barely. And then, McBride and those boys. But anyways, that was a fun holiday little banger parlay. Unfortunately, I wish it hit, but it did not. And then anytime touchdown. Our only 1 unit play on the anytime touchdown was Mike Evans, and we hit it for the second week in a row. He got in pretty early, and I think he scored 2 touchdowns actually. And then Monday Night Football, Rashee Rice touchdown plus 130 half unit. Ugly. Chiefs only scored I think 1 touchdown, maybe a second one at the end. It was just ugly. That Chiefs offense was horrendous last weekend. So that's the Week 16 bets recap. Let's go to page 2 now and check where we are at on the year. My game bets up over 8 units on the season. And then anytime touchdown or Ryan's game bets are sneaking closer and closer back to even. Player props are carrying us up 10.12 units. And as you can see, the trends parlay 3 and 8. But you know what? When you got the odds we've been having, 3 and 8 is not too bad. Up 8.16, but that is not official. Overall, up 13.45 units. It's okay. We can handle a 2 unit loss. I know I had some people in the comments thinking that I should stick to basketball and not do football. It was only a 2 unit loss weekend. We will survive. It's a long season, but we only got 2 weeks left. I want to get to 20 units. Can we do it? Let's see. We need a big weekend. So that's the bets recap for week 16. And now let's check out the week 17 trends. Okay, for the 17th time in a row, let's talk some trends in the NFL this weekend. They are 105 and 77 on the season. We will take it, but it needs a good week, and I feel a good one coming on. Here we go. And again, I'm not making up these trends. So when they lose, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just letting you know I just find them and give them to you. So Thursday Night Football, we started out. The Browns have gone over their team total 11 of 15 games. That team total right now is set at 20 and a half as they host the Jets. Cowboys over team total in all 7 home games. That is impressive. 30 and a half now. They have not scored less than 30. They are averaging about 40 points per game at home as they host the Detroit Lions on Saturday Night Football. Falcons, NFL worst 5-13-1 ATS following a win since the start of 2021. Chicago is -3 in that game. Jaguars 4-12 last 16 games as a home favorite. Carolina +7 in that one. Rams, they've been solid in December when it matters. Rams 18-4-1 ATS last 23 games in December. They are also 4-0 ATS the last 4 games, so they are playing well, scoring a lot of points. They are 4.5-point favorites this weekend. And then Arizona plays the Eagles. They are combined 28-2 to the first half over this year, and that first half total is 23.5. Bills 0-6 ATS last 6 games as a double-digit favorite. They are favored by 13 points. So if you go with that trend, saying the Bills can't cover big ones, you take the Patriots plus 13 at your own risk because it is the Patriots. 49ers, they have 8 wins this year by 16 or more points. That is absolutely insane. They are 13-point favorites this weekend. And the Ravens, they are a league best 12-3 ATS in the first half, and they are -1.5 at home against the Miami Dolphins in the game of the week. And the Titans, under their team total in 6 of 7 road games, their team total is set at 19.5. Let's go over to the second page. We only got 4 more. Raiders under the second half total in 12 of 15. That is the whole total, not their team total. 21.5 is that second half total this weekend. And then Steelers under in the second half total in 12 of 15. The exact same trend, and their total is set at 20.5 as they play my Seattle Seahawks. Chiefs under in 7 of 8 home games this year. You guys know why Chiefs offense has been struggling. The total in that game is 44.5 as they host the Bengals. And then the Vikings, the final one, they've gone under the fourth quarter total in all 7 home games. That is not a team total either. That is the total for both teams in the fourth quarter, all 7 home games. 13.5 is the total for that one. So those are the week 17 trends. Hopefully those help you out, gets you a few winners. Again, these should just be a part of your handicap, not the reason why you make a bet. So that's what we got for the trends. Now it's time to talk some Thursday night football. All right, Thursday night game takes us out to Cleveland, Ohio. We got the Brownies hosting the New York Jets. Browns -7.5, over under 35 points in this one. A Browns win clinches a playoff spot. That's awesome for the Cleveland fans who have been through a lot with that franchise. There's other ways if they do lose, they can still make the playoffs. I'm not going to go through all the situations for you, but if they win, they are in the playoffs. And you may not know this, they still have a shot at the number 1 seed if they win the last 2 games. If the Dolphins beat the Ravens this week and then the Dolphins lose to the Bills in week 18 and the Ravens just lose the last 2 games. So they have a shot. You never know. You're saying there's a chance. All right, against the spread, Jets 5-9-1 ATS, 1-4-1 ATS on the road, and they are the second worst ATS team on the road. Browns 9-5-1 against the spread, 7-1 ATS at home this season. They are the worst, or the number 1 home ATS team in the NFL. So it's two opposites right now. Over under Jets 9-6 to the under, Browns 9-6 to the over. Quick note: Trevor Simeon will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. It is a quarterback carousel there. It has been ugly ever since Aaron Rodgers went down. But in this game, I'm going to give you a player prop to start, and then I'm going to have a half of my teaser also in this game later. So we'll talk about that later. But first, let me give you my player prop in this game. It is the man David Njoku, the tight end for the Cleveland Browns. Anytime touchdown at plus 200 on FanDuel. I'm going to put a half unit on this myself. You guys obviously do whatever you want. But like I said, it's the first of two bets. So when we get into the Week 17 best bets, I'll have another one in this game as well. The Jets have struggled keeping opposing tight ends out of the end zone. They have given up the second most touchdowns to the tight end position this year at 8. And Joku, if you have not been following this Cleveland Browns team, my goodness, he has a connection with Flacco unlike any other. Honestly, guys, in the last 3 games with Joe Flacco, my twin brother, David Njoku, 22 catches for 239 yards. And what we care about in this one, how about 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks? 4. That's right. Flacco has thrown 10 touchdowns this year. 4 of them are to David Njoku. So it's pretty impressive. This value of plus 200 for a guy that's an absolute touchdown machine and has a great matchup, I mean, it's too good to pass up. I'm throwing a half unit on it. Give me David Njoku anytime touchdown. I would talk aside and all that, but like I said, we're going to talk about this game in just a second. So that is my best bet for Thursday Night Football. And now let's get into Week 17 best bets. All right, here we go. Let's continue from that Thursday Night Football game, and I got a 6-point teaser for you. Give me the Browns -1.5, or the Chiefs -1, -120 on DraftKings. So 6-point teaser. If you aren't familiar, you take the line that you want, you put it 6 points in your favor. So in this case, the Browns are -7.5. I'm taking it down to -1.5. Chiefs are -7, taking it down to -1. It's practically a money line parlay, but not quite. Let's talk about it. Browns -1.5. We talked about this game a little bit. To be honest with you guys, this is it's a unique matchup because first of all, you have the number one home defense. We've talked about this a million times. The Browns are only giving up 13.1 points per game at home. And they're playing the Jets, who happen to be dead last. That's right, the worst offense on the road, scoring only 12 points per game. Their team total is set at 13.5. I lean under. That's how bad they expect this Jets offense to be. It's not going to be pretty. It's Trevor Simeon, no relation to Marcus Simeon of the Rangers. And this Jets offense is just going to struggle. I just don't see them doing much of anything. They might not even reach the red zone, to be honest with you. So they have the 31st pass offense overall, and now they're playing the number one pass defense in the Cleveland Browns. Browns are a top 5 pressure team, by the way, also. It is going to be a very long day for Mr. Simeon. Browns have actually been playing really well with Joe Flacco, my boy, at quarterback. Is he an upgrade over Deshaun Watson? I don't know. He's playing pretty well. Deshaun wasn't getting this much out of Njoku and Amari Cooper, I will say that. But what also may help the Browns here is that the Jets are 24th in rushing yards allowed per game at 126.2 rush yards per game. I think that's going to take the pressure off of Flacco, and it's going to help set up some play action. To be honest, like I said, the Browns don't have to score a lot of points to cover this game. The dog pound is going to be loud. It is going to be fired freaking up. Like I mentioned before, they still have a shot at the number one seed, but if they win, they are in the freaking playoffs. You don't think Cleveland fans are going to be fired up? I expect the Browns to kind of win easily. I'm going to be honest with you. I know the Jets defense is good. How much are they motivated? How much do they care? It's been a rough year. Give me the Browns to win by 2 or more points. Second leg, the Kansas City Chiefs. My goodness, did they look terrible on TV on Christmas. Holy cow. Now, -1. They are hosting the Bengals. The same Bengals team that just got routed by the Steelers. That's right. Routed by the Steelers is not something I've said much at all this season. So we know the Chiefs look bad. I think this is a great bounce back. They're playing the Bengals defense. They've given up the 6th most points in the league on the road this year at 26.7. It's a lot different than the Raiders. The Raiders are a divisional team like they played last week. They know each other well. Raiders are a much better defense than the Bengals team. They are bottom 5 run and pass defense. I mean, it's kind of pick your poison. Whatever you want to do against this team, you can, as you saw by what Mason freaking Rudolph did against them last week. They also did get a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, which is huge because Mahomes is kind of running for his life every once in a while, last week and throughout this season. So he should have a little easier game. Jamar Chase, the number 1 wide receiver, probably the second best wide receiver in the NFL, looks like he is going to sit out again for the Bengals this week. They struggled without him last week, scoring only 11 points in Pittsburgh. This Chiefs team is freaking angry. Did you see all the outbursts on the sideline and everything? They are very upset. They are fighting. They are not used to losing. They are going to come out and let their frustration out on the Cincinnati Bengals, kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers did last week. Chiefs on defense, they're top five pass defense. They're going to be able to get pressure on Browning in this game. And to be honest with you, if they're Browning's facing a top five pass defense without his number one receiver, it's just going to be tough. I don't see the Bengals scoring many points. The Chiefs' offense just needs to be good, just not great, and I think they'll be plenty good to win by 2 or more. I think they win by 10 plus in this game, to be honest. But for this teaser, I just need them to win by 2 or more. And just a reminder on teasers: if you have a push, it counts as a loss. So if you have a -1 and that team wins by 1, that is a loss. So that's what I got. Give me the Chiefs -1. Give me the Browns -1.5 as my first or second, technically, best bet of Week 17. And let's move on to the next game. All right, this next game takes us out to Dallas, Texas on Saturday night. Reminder, it is Saturday night football. We got the Lions at the Cowboys. Cowboys -6, over under 53 points. Two teams battling for seeding at this point. The Lions have clinched the NFC North. Congratulations. I never thought I'd say that sentence again. And the Cowboys are playing for the NFC East right now and just seeding and all that, which is huge for the Cowboys. So, against the spread, Lions 10-5 ATS, 6-2 ATS on the road. Cowboys 9-6 against the spread, 6-1 ATS at home, the second best home ATS team in the league. Over under Lions 10-5 to the over, Cowboys 8-7 to the over. I'm gonna get right into my best bet. First of all, if I had to pick a side on this game, I'd probably lean Lions. It just seems like a lot of points, but my best bet, it's the total. I know the total's high, and I don't even care. Give me the over 53 at -112 on DraftKings. Now, we have to start out with how unbelievable this Cowboys offense has been at home. We've talked about it many times. They're averaging 40 points per game at home. 40. That's right. That is literally, if they hit their average, we only need 14 from the Lions. That's it, if that happens. Now, game totals at home for the Cowboys this year. There's a game total of 46 to the Eagles. Again, divisional opponents, you never know. Teams know each other. 76 when they played the Seattle Seahawks. 55 against the Washington Commanders. 66 against the New York Football Giants, 63 against the Rams. I mean, guys, we are flying over with some of these numbers. And then the two games that didn't even come close were against the Patriots and Jets at 41 and 40. Again, we know those two teams are all defense and no offense, so you expect that. That total would never be a 53 for those. That is an average of 55.2 points per game in Dallas, even including the 40 and the 41. And now they play the Lions, who are an absolute perfect matchup for this team to go over because when indoors, the Lions know how to score too. But let's talk about the Lions a little bit. In the indoor game, it's going to be all home games and a couple road games. 59 total points at home against the Broncos, 61 in New Orleans, 51 at home against the Packers, 79 against the Chargers on the road, 40 Raiders, 66 Panthers. That's right. They played a game that totaled 66 points with Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. 26 at home versus the Falcons way back in the day this year. And then 68 at home against the Seahawks. Guys, their two indoor road games so far. By the way, this defense does not play as well on the road. But in their two outdoor or indoor road games, they allowed 61 and 79. They didn't allow it. That's how many points were in those games. 61 and 70 freaking 9. That is a lot. There's an average of 56.25 points per game in all Lions indoor games, and they've given up 25.3 points per game on the road. I think the Cowboys are going to have another good offensive game. And I think the Lions on offense, this is a team that can impose their will a little bit with the running game and take advantage of, it's not really a weakness, but I think the Cowboys can be beat. They are not used to playing teams like this that can bully them around. I just can't see a lot of times where these teams punt. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Cowboys defense has been better at home. We know that. We've talked about it before. But let's just hold that thought for a second because 4 of the 7 home games they played, the Giants offense, the Jets offense, the Patriots, and the Commanders, guys, not exactly offensive juggernauts. Lions are a much better offense, especially when they are indoors like they're going to be. Lions on the road, their defense, especially pass defense, takes a plummet. They have allowed the 6th most passing yards on the road this season. That's not a good combo because you are now playing Dak Prescott and this team that averages 40 points a game at home. I think the Cowboys put up a lot of points. I think the Lions put up a lot of points. As long as the O lines can kind of protect these two quarterbacks and block well, I just see this game being in the 30s. I'm not gonna lie. maybe like a 34-30 type of game, get us over that pretty easily. Just because 6 is a lot of points, I'd probably lean with the Lions as long as they don't have any sort of letdown from winning the NFC North, but they are still playing for quite a bit. So give me the over 53 in this game, and what should be a very exciting game. If you like points, turn this game on and check it out. So over 53 is my best bet. All right, my final bet before we kick it to Ryan and go over our trends parlay takes us out to my neck of the woods. The Seattle Seahawks, baby, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seahawks minus 3.5, over under 41.5. Against the spread, Steelers 8-7 ATS, 3-3 on the road. Seahawks 8-5-2 ATS, 3-3-1 ATS at home. Over under, Steelers 10-5 to the under, Seahawks 9-6 to the under as well. Now, I have a same game parlay in this game between the Seahawks and the Steelers. And yes, I'm still mad that the Steelers beat us in the Super Bowl a long time ago. And I think the officiating was terrible. And I can't sleep at night sometimes because of it. But that's okay. That's also why I hate the Steelers. So here we go. Same game parlay. Give me the Seahawks money line and the under 51.5 at minus 118 on FanDuel. All right, see, it's kind of like a teaser, just in a different way. I took a little more points for the total and things like that. But Seahawks money line. They've had some great comebacks last 2 weeks. I mean, we're talking beating the Eagles on a long 90-something yard drive to win it on Monday Night Football, and then the Titans last week on the road, a long drive to win it at the end of the game. We are a team that controls our own destiny to make the playoffs, so we are very motivated. Our playoff hopes are still alive. Geno Smith is back at quarterback over Drew Lock. Little slight upgrade, not huge there. But do not get confused by the Steelers team that just beat the Bengals on Saturday last weekend. Bengals team has been beat up. They have Jake Browning at quarterback. Before that game, the Steelers lost 3 games in a row to the Cardinals by 14, the Patriots, and the Colts by 17. This is not a very good Steelers team. They have been somehow finding some ways to win and getting lucky a little bit. But Mason Rudolph is not going to have 2 good games in a row, guys. There's a reason the Steelers brought in Mitch Trubisky. Let's just say that. They paid him too much money, brought him in to back up Kenny Pickett because they don't trust Mason Rudolph. He's been there for, I don't know, 100 years, and they keep trying to find quarterbacks to move in front of him. Yes, he had a decent game against one of the worst defenses in the league last year, but guys, it was Christmas. His name is freaking Rudolph. What do you expect? It has to. It's like the law. He has to have a good game on Christmas. I would not count on him having 2 good games in a row, especially across the country in Seattle with that 12th man. Seahawks team also top 10 in pressure percentage, top 6 in sacks this season. Surprising for us, that's for sure. But I think Rudolph's going to have problems finding receivers and having the time because he does not have a very good offensive line, as most of you Steeler fans know. And they're just struggling offensively. Before the game last week, they hadn't scored more than 18 points in the previous 5 games. That is pretty bad. Najee Harris being questionable doesn't help either. And then on the road, Steelers averaging only 15.3 points per game on the road, the 7th worst in the NFL. Obviously, that plays into my under later as well. And the Seahawks just finding ways to win this season. They're 5-2 straight up at home. We all know we have great home field advantage in Seattle. The 12th man, I think the Seahawks are going to get the job done and probably cover the 3.5. But all I need them to do is win the game. Now the under 51.5. I took this all the way up, guys, from 41.5 and took the under. I don't think this game gets near 51.5. We're talking Mason Rudolph versus Geno Smith. Does that have 50 something points written all over it? I don't think so. It's at 41.5 for a reason. I think it ends right around 35 to 40 point mark, maybe at the most. 4 of the last 5 Seahawks home games have gone under 51.5. Every single Steelers road game, all 6 of them, have gone under this 51.5 number, and most of them weren't even close to 51.5. I don't see any of these teams putting up 30 plus points. I think it's going to be a grinded out type of game. Field position, punting back and forth a little bit. I think the Seahawks will do more on offense at home here. But, I repeat, it is Mason freaking Rudolph Comet Cupid versus Geno Smith. It's not going to be a ton of points. The reason I raised it is because 41 is a little low in regards to if there's any mistakes by these quarterbacks. And trust me, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, and Geno have made some stupid mistakes before in their career. So you never know if there's a pick six or anything. I think 51.5 gives us plenty enough room, even if there is some mistakes. So that's my same game parlay. Give me the Seahawks money line and the under 51.5 for the alt line at minus 118 on FanDuel. And now, before we kick it to that juicy trends parlay, let's see if Ryan can make it 3 in a row.
All right, I'm back. I've won my last two. Let's see if we can make it three in a row. We're going Chicago, where the Falcons are taking on the Bears. Chicago -3, over under 38 points. My best bet in this one, I'm going with Chicago -3 at -108. The trend that Steven gave out earlier, man, that's looking good for us. The Falcons, an NFL worst, 5-13-1 against the spread since the start of 2021, coming off of a win. They beat the Colts last week, so man, I love that one. Now, the Falcons, they're seem like two completely different teams. Away, they score 13.6 points per game. 13.6 points per game. Not very good. Home, they score 24. So I don't know what's up. They just can't figure it out when they're away and do all right when they're home. Now, both these teams, they're pretty much similar. They love to run the football. Neither team can really pass or try to pass very often. Both teams don't really get to the quarterback, and both teams really are really good at stopping the run. Bears could be one of the best teams, if not the best team, at stopping the run. So both teams, I can see both teams trying to, establish the run the best they can and pass when they can, if they can, because both teams are really good at defense there. The Bears, they struggle at giving up yards against the pass, but they pick off quarterbacks at a pretty good rate. 18 interceptions this season, like second best in the league. Pretty darn good there, but they give up a lot of yards. So Falcons might give it a try, but I don't see that going well. Now, like I said, this one just comes down to the home team in the Bears. They've just been dominating at home. They've won their last four at home, and the Falcons really struggle. So that's really what it comes down to me. Taylor Heineke's the quarterback. I'm glad the Falcons made that change, but the Falcons, they're super inconsistent. They play good one week, bad one week, good, bad. So I'm hoping to catch them on a bad week. Bears, they've been pretty consistent these last few weeks. Like I said, 4 in a row at home. So another home game against a Falcons team that's struggling. Both these teams still have a chance for the playoffs. The Bears really far chances, but it's still a chance. So I can see both teams still playing hard, still playing competitive, and both teams trying to get better. That's a big part of it. Both these teams are young, trying to put on good film for their teams, and want to finish the season off strong. So my best bet in this one, I'm going the Bears -3 at -108. Now, Steven, let's go check out that trends parlay.
All right, let's get into the trends parlay. But before we do, I do have to say, if Ryan didn't bet Bears -3, I was going to bet it too. I absolutely love that bet. Falcons are horrendous on the road. Bears are playing some good ball, like Ryan talked about. I love the Bears -3. So, anyways, trends parlay. Rams -5.5, 49ers -12.5, and over 23.5 in the first half between the Cardinals and the Eagles. Put those three together, you get plus 542 on FanDuel. Some of these numbers are just a touch off of what the trend showed earlier, just because lines move and things like that. But let's talk about it real quick. Rams -5.5. The trend we are following in this one: Rams 18-4-1 ATS last 23 games in December. They are playing the Giants, who will be switching quarterbacks yet again to Tyrod Taylor. The Danny DeVito experiment is apparently over. The Rams team is now 4-0 against the spread in the last four games. They're playing really well on both sides of the ball, especially offense. They've scored 125 points in the last four games. That's right. They are averaging over 30 points per game in the last four games. I don't think Tyrod Taylor, this terrible Giants offense, will be able to keep up. Give me the Rams -5.5. Next one, 49ers -12.5. This one went down for some reason. It was at 13. 49ers have now won 8 games this season by 16 or more points. That is the trend we are following. They absolutely dominate lesser competition. I also think there's a chance the 49ers never punt in this game. Maybe at the end of the game when they're just running the clock out. Other than that, I don't see it happening. Commanders are the worst defense in the league. The 49ers and Run CMC may have over 200 total yards. It may be that ugly. Brock Purdy, after that absolutely horrendous game where he just blew every single 49er bet, throwing pick after pick after pick. Not every single one of them was his fault, but he does have to learn how to play against good teams. But I think the 49ers are going to let all their frustration out. I think Purdy's going to have more time in the pocket, going to find open receivers, because the Commanders are the worst team in the league defending wide receivers. So I think the 49ers win by 14 or more points and put an absolute beatdown on the Commanders as Ron Rivera coaches his final games in Washington, D.C. Next one and final one. Over 23.5 first half Cardinals Eagles. It's 24.5 in another book, obviously, 23.5 on FanDuel. So we're going to take that. These two teams are combined 28-1 to the first half over. That is 20-8-1, by the way, in case you're just listening, to the first half over this season. So offenses in the first half: Cardinals averaging 11 points per game in the first half. Eagles averaging 12 points per game. That's right there about the total. Defenses, Cardinals giving up almost 14 points per game in the first half. Eagles giving up 12.5 points per game in the first half. These two defenses have been struggling lately. We know all about it. With Kyler Murray back, I think their offense obviously takes and is an upgrade compared to what they've had most of the season. So, you know what? I think this game could have the potential to have quite a few points in it. Hopefully, it's in the first half. That's all I got for you. It's a first half bet. I don't make many first half bets, but give me the over 23.5 first half. Cardinals, Eagles, Niners minus 12.5, Rams minus 5.5 as the trends parlay for week 17 at plus 542. Now, let's get to the head to head bet. Okay, it is time for the head to head bet for NFL Week 17. I am 9-5 against him. Anybody remember when I started out like 1-2 or 1-3? I am now 9-5, putting an absolute beat down on him. Before we get into the head to head bet, I just have to say, because breaking news just came, you guys probably already heard it by the time you see this video. Russell Wilson has been benched for the last two games of the regular season. I can't get the smile off my face while I say it. He's been benched for the last two games of the regular season, and it sounds like reports are they are expected to cut him in March after the season is over. Sean Payton does not like Russell Wilson. You wanted out of Seattle, and you got it. Deal with it, baby. Oh, I love it. Okay, to the head-to-head bet now. Oh, you want to say something about it real quick?
No, I absolutely love it too. But there is something else that I want to say. In this video and the previous video, you said the two best receivers, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. You just freaking skipped right over Tyreek Hill. How's he not number one or at least number two? Come on. You just passed him up, and I think he's leading the league in receiving yards. Can't believe it.
Okay, you might be right. I don't know how to organize those three then,
Okay.
though. You know what I mean? Like, let's face it, those three are unbelievable in different ways. You're right. Good point. All right, head-to-head bet. Let's move to 10-5. Just put Team Steven now. It's just a waste of time, I know. But here we go. It is the AFC South battle. The Titans traveling to the Houston Texans, and I got the Houston Texans minus 4.5. Ryan is taking the Tennessee Titans plus 4.5. Now, it's a divisional game. I don't love to lay a lot of points in divisional games, but CJ Stroud is more than likely back after a lengthy absence with his concussion. So he's not officially in yet, but it sounds like he's going to be. CJ Stroud's obviously a huge difference maker. The Titans are horrendous. They're just bad. They've thrown in the towel. That was it. They lost to the Seahawks last week, and they carry one of the league's bottom five offenses on the road. They average like 14 points a game on the road. 14. While the Texans are averaging over 20 points per game at home. I just don't see the Titans stopping CJ Stroud in this offense. Hopefully, Nico Collins plays. He is questionable right now. But, Ryan, why do you think the Titans keep this game close?
I can get lucky with CJ Stroud not playing, some of the other injuries that you have at the wide receiver core, so that's some of it. Divisional game, that's a huge one for me. They'll stay close, they stay competitive, even like this. So I can see this staying close and competitive. 3-point win, something like that for their Texans would be just fine for me. And the Houston Texans, they don't win games soundly or easily like this entire season. They win games, but it's not like a complete beatdown and just run away with it. They win late. They just figure out ways to win type of thing. So as long as the Tennessee Titans can keep it close, I'm liking that. Ryan Tannehill, you said the Titans don't have anything to play for. I believe Henry's just playing because that's just what he does. That's what he knows what to do, knows how to do. And Ryan Tannehill, he's looking to find somewhere to play next season. He's got to put out good tape and good film and play well, because if not, he's going to get backup money, things like that, because it looks like this is Will Levis's team. So with Tannehill playing, he's going to try hard and play hard. And like you said, divisional game, a lot of points. Loving the Tennessee Titans for this one.
Okay, Tennessee Titans. By the way, their offensive line. I've watched them some games, and my goodness, I'm pretty sure as long as I stretched for long enough, I could get pressure on the quarterback. It has been ugly some games, but you know what? Tannehill is playing for something. But either way, Tannehill, Levis, it's just not pretty there in Tennessee. It's a rough year this year for him. I like the Texans to get a lot of pressure on Tannehill and to get back to their winning ways. Their defense has struggled a little bit last few weeks. I think CJ Stroud will help keep the defense off the field a little more. Give me the Texans minus 4.5. Ryan has the Titans plus 4.5 as our team, or as our best bet. Again, Team Steven with a PH down below. Just put it. I don't think you need to know the other option, but of course it's Team LOSER. He tries hard, so that's good, right, Ryan?
Hey, my Cowboys last week, I thought I had them so freaking close last week to finally get another victory, but nope, couldn't do that either.
Game-winning field goal. That was freaking beautiful. The Miami Dolphins. Thank you for touching up. But that's the head-to-head bet. That is the NFL Week 17 video. What a journey through football we just took. That was a lot of fun. Let's check out the bets recap. There it is. That's the card for week 17 until we get to the player props later this week. David and Njoku, anytime touchdown on Thursday Night Football, plus 200 on FanDuel. That is a half unit bet for me. And then the 6 point teaser using that Thursday night game. Give me the Browns minus 1.5, the Kansas City Chiefs minus 1 at minus 120. And then the over 53 Lions and Cowboys at minus 112. Give me points, points, and more points there in Dallas. And then I go to my Seahawks game. I don't usually love betting Seahawks games, but I will take this one. Seahawks money line and under 51.5. You get that at minus 118 on FanDuel. If you want to go down to 49.5, 48.5, I don't blame you. Get close to even money right around there. I'm going to play it safe. 51 is a key number just in case somehow there's points in that game. And the trends parlay. Let's see if we can keep on winning. Plus 542. Rams minus 5.5. 49ers minus 12.5. Over 23.5 in the first half between the Cardinals and Eagles. I just realized on this page I have a bet for every single NFC West team. It is absolutely insane. That was not planned. Ryan's bet, trying to make it three in a row. Bears minus 3. I love that bet as well. Minus 108 on DraftKings. And the head to head. Me, Texans minus 4.5, 9-5 on the season. Ryan, Titans plus 4.5, trying to get back to his winning ways. He's at 5-9 right there. That's what we got. Man, that was a lot of fun. Only another week left of this, and then we got playoff football. So, NBA video will be coming out shortly. Reminder, the NFL player props video will be out Friday night. Thank you guys all for staying positive in this community, always keeping it light and having some fun in the comment section, and just for all the support this year. It's been awesome. So, that's our show. Hope everyone has a great week. We'll talk to you soon.